Matt, another season. I know it's never hard for you to get fired up about anything, but just this group right here has some potential this year.
It certainly does. We're excited to get it underway. We're going to start off with a bang with Anderson County, and, that's the way it started the last few years. But, this group's a very talented group. A lot of them have a lot of experience about them, and anytime you've got a third-year starter at quarterback, it gives you excitement. He's been through a lot of battles, and so, we're going to lean on him, especially offensively, to kind of carry things early on until some guys get caught up.
With a quarterback like him, and I know you haven't played the position, how much excitement do you get kind of pouring your knowledge into him and seeing it kind of grow?
It's a lot of fun. From where he was as a sophomore to where he was as a junior to now the conversations we can have during this offseason going into his senior year. It's a lot of fun to watch his progression, to watch his understanding of not only our offense, but the entire game of football in general. And so, we've been very blessed at Powell to have now a third year quarterback 3 times in a row. And, I don't know that that's ever happened in my 22, 23 years of being a head coach. And so, Deuce is a big personality. He's a lot of fun, and physically he's pretty gifted as well.
The defense last year got so much notoriety that I think as the season wore on, more and more people started talking about it. Could this year's defense be even better?
I think it has a chance. We've got to figure some things out there at linebacker. Obviously, we lost all 3 of those guys, 3 very talented guys. We certainly feel like we've got some guys that are ready to step into that role, ready to make those plays. But on the back end, we think we've got some talent there. We've got 3 returning starters in the secondary. We've got 3 returning starters up front, and that's a pretty good place to start anytime you're getting ready for a season coming up.
What's new with Iverson Garcia? What do you think? Where do you see his growth pattern this year?
So much of it's just knowledge of the game, but also working so much of those fundamental techniques of being able to get off of that initial charge, that initial contact, being able to redirect, and then trying to continue to pursue.
The schedule this year, tell me about it and just kind of what purpose you think it'll serve in the long run.
I think it's going to be very different for a lot of us with an 8-team region. Now half of the region doesn't make the playoffs, and that hasn't happened in a long time. And so I think those region games will become that much more, intense. I think those region games will carry a lot more value than they have in the past. The last few years, 4 of the 5 teams were going to make the playoffs, so you always felt good. All you needed was a couple of wins. Now you're going to need 3, 4, 5 wins just to get in. And so, there's a lot more value in that region schedule. And so I think it's going to, certainly intensify a lot of those matchups.
Y'all have had so many players over the last 5-10 years going to play college football, and now you got one of your own that's now in the NFL, and Walter Nolan. How cool was that for you to having coached a guy to watch him sign a contract and start his career in the pros?
It was an unbelievable moment, and so to reach out to him a couple hours, I tried to give it a little bit of time, but to reach out to him and the family there at the house, afterward, and just try and be any small part of that celebration. My phone started lighting up like a Christmas tree as soon as his name was called, there by Arizona. And so I'm excited. And so me and my girls have talked, and at some point, I've never been to Phoenix, but we're going to try and get out that way at some point to watch an NFL game. Just like you said, I've never had one that was there on the side. I got to see Lee Smith play toward the end of his career, but to now have a guy go in the first round, that was a big moment for not only Walter and his entire family, but for the Powell community.